can like add some special effects on top of it, but the creation process itself, it's not my. I mean, I would have to invest a lot of time into learning process, say it like that. But it's not a thing that I'm looking out. It's a thing that I'm like looking out for, like in a day, when I can be like completely independent, as I've like expand to animation itself, and not like take somebody else's content, but like make my own animations and then work it in my own clips. That's my one of my steps later on.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. I mean, creation of the animation is difficult, but then like you did that little thing with the green background, and I'm still trying to learn how to do chroma key to be able to get it into what I'm wanting. Now I need to like select chroma key just on the background because there is a green piece in the actual part spinning, so it ends up taking that out also, right? So how do you produce a video with transparent background? I see them, I'm just not quite sure how to utilize them.
I don't. Vegas has no like option for doing that stuff. Even if I like GIF it, even if I do GIF it, Vegas still gives it like a black background.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I believe a Giphy would probably be the easiest way. A really high quality GIF with transparent backgrounds on each image. Basically, it would just be transparent PNGs stitched together, essentially. And that would allow you to import it easily to wherever you need it. But yeah, it's not the same as getting video with the audio. You do your animation, it has animation sounds, you know, all that kind of stuff, but you want to lay it over top. So you'd almost have to pick a specific color that can't be found within the video itself, any of the elements, which would be the one color you choose to then be the transparent, the chroma keys. So like for our heart, that spinning heart thing, I would think somewhere in the range of the yellows might work. But
orange,
so much
orange.
But orange is also falls in with red, which is the heart, right? So you might have to go to an oddball, go into like blue or purples. So then you're moving away from the color spectrum that we would normally be using. Anyways, guys, welcome to the One Love community dev chat for DTube, the weekly show. I'm Cam. With me today, we have Tech Coder, who said he is most likely going to be absent for the show a little bit later today. So he's in chat, may be able to answer some questions. Got DJ Calf, Anime for the World. We are live. Today, I'm rocking my beaker hat because I love it. So I'm always making eye contact today, staring right at you. How you doing, Anime?
What's up? Hey, Bristet Chiva is also here now.
Welcome, Bristet! Yay!
Everyone is here. Nice.
What's up, guys?
Oh, you know, leader fun. Pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about here. I'm currently doing a replay, or rebuild, I guess, of my node in the last minutes, hours while we're impending our fork. I had not used the correct block zip multiple times, and now I'm on the correct one. Ended up pulling up an error, so we should be good now. Sadly, I am missing blocks in this moment until this finishes, but well. A little bit of block missing is actually in our benefit right now because it pushes the date of our fork a little bit farther out. Hopefully that'll help some of our leaders get updated in time. Bird Inc. is doing his update now. I think he is at about the same spot I am on a rebuild. So we should be able to do this without any major upsets is the plan. Today on board, we are going to be talking a little bit just about the UI mostly. So today's live topics from TechCoder X. To summarize, front-end changes preview is available on https://dtube.techcoderx.com. Make sure it's HTTPS before you go enter any of your keys. Always remember, we don't have a known phishing link or anything, but always remember, check for HTTPS because without it, they could intercept your transactions. Get your key. So on the UI, we have the author tip field being entered, the Avalon API based image proxy enabled, increased slider handle size, added fallback gateway system on thumbnails, replaced thumbs up icon with bolt symbol for VP overlay, fixed vote weight settings reset, fixed graphene only voting on content posted on Avalon, fixed video duration overlay, fixed watch history freezing on load, fixed the graphene comments parsing. So that is basically, I think, all of the issues we've been having with the UI, plus the inclusion of our tipping, the image proxy that handles all the missing images, slider complications for voting, thumbnails. I can't actually think of anything that I've come across that isn't listed there. So great work, Tech. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. I just want to give a giant shout out to TibFox, who is running the original DTuber challenge. Get yourself listed in the official DTube Discord under the original DTuber channel. All you got to do is participate in his challenge. You know, hold up a little piece of paper, say original DTuber, talking about what you're doing. Check into it, follow up with his post for more details. We plan to incorporate this into appropriate whitelisting. So right now it's a list of people that we are manually confirming, but I think that list will be used to start a potential proposal system because we need confirmed users to start with. So before I continue on, how you guys doing today? How is everybody?
Well, if no one's gonna say anything, I'm cool, I'm peachy. Sunday, relaxing day.
I can see, take the UI for tipping pretty much looks what I had before, no? Or is it different?
Tech Knight might not be able to chat in with us today. He may hit us up in text.
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
I wanted to show another thing that I was just doing for fun. So this is TechCoder's UI. So if we go here, 2 hours ago, Priya has uploaded video. If we click on this, tag plus tip, it pretty much looks like how I had it on YouTube. Anyway, so
Yeah, he probably grabbed what you were working on and just expanded upon it, maybe? I haven't taken a close look, actually, yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I was probably expecting something more fancier because are we going with this one? I mean, we have not really talked about it, but
I think to
Well, I
start
mean, I
with,
guess it does not look bad, right? It's all right, I guess.
yeah, I think to start with, stay with something that's easy and functional. We can expand it as we get more feedback as more users use it too, right?
It still has 5. I think we want it to be 25, right? The default.
Yeah. The standard setting, I think we're going to require to discuss a little bit with the leaders. Get more of their insight before we start making changes on the default values.
I think he was working on this one. You see, let me go to mine. What was the changes he made so far? He wrote it here, right?
Yeah.
So basically, fixed vote weight settings reset, graphene only voting content, video duration overlay, increase slider handle size. Okay, so that's the change I'm trying to see here. So this has the old one on my test site. So if I click on this one, you see this looks pretty small. Now he made it bigger. So that's what he mean by slider handle size bigger. Okay. And what other changes? Avalon API based image proxy added fallback gateway. So these are all Avalon related. Fix vote weight settings reset. Do you remember what this is? Vote weight settings reset?
That's the default value resetting, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So when like you make a comment, it'll accidentally reset to the 5% on you, where if you set a value in settings, could be like 0.1%, it would make a huge difference on your default comment.
Now that we are working on here, I was experimenting something like this. Let me show you. So you remember I was talking about it would be nice. You see, these are numbers, right? So we are sliding like this. Mm-hmm. So let's say here 0%, and somebody probably slides to 20%, 45%, 70%. So let's say I want to choose exactly 25%. It's kind of hard to do it, right? So I need to like make some effort. So what I was planning to do is I'm just experimenting. Look at here. It's not
having like a bullet point system on the side of it, right? So you could click it.
Not bullet. That's one idea. Another idea I'm exploring is how to test. So let me show. So here, the slider comes on click, right? So let's say I go to this video, and then so when I'm hovering, nothing's happening. But when I click, slider comes up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking about, look at here what I was testing. So let's say 100 divided by 5 is 4, or 100 divided by 4 is 5. You see, so we could so on hover we could have kind of like the emoji, like how Facebook sort of works. So let's say we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which could basically be 5%, 10%. These are just emoji I'm using right now, just testing. But I'm saying like these could, so you on hover here, and you could just, if you press, let's say the middle one, that would be 50%. This one is 75%. This one is 100%. This one would be, let's say, 25%. This one is 0%. But if you want to be precise, then you click on it. Then the slider comes, and you make it like if you want to have like 74.5 or something. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Sort of like a sort of like so this is for the upvote, right? For downvote also I want to have let's say 3 different levels. One is like angry face, one is like let's say sad face, one is like let's say meh face. Okay, so which basically means, let's say if it's angry face, If you click on angry, that would be treated like a reporting. And then maybe if it's sad face. So basically right now downvote we treat only, there's only one level. We think we should have like at least 3 levels. One is like it's a bad video, like propaganda or something, you want to report it, or like child abuse or something. Another one is like, oh, you did not like it. Like, I mean, it's all right. Another one is like, it's all right. So maybe if we could do it, at least on the upvote one, I still haven't tested. So the idea is like, I could probably integrate that. Let's say in the slider, we could have those emojis in the left like that, so that you can just either choose the emoji or the slider. So I need to like experiment more. Maybe I'll put on my test site and eventually see which one people like more.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
like that
like a
idea.
so basically, instead of like peak D, for example, peak D basically has what? Like they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. If you go to peak D, it's all topics. So if I click on this, log in first. Okay, so let's go here. So if I click on the love button, you see they have 0, 10, 20. So every 10 increment. So instead of copying them, why don't we use emoji? That's the idea I'm talking about. So basically the slider idea we also probably got from PigD, right? Hive does not have a
Yeah.
so we don't have to, slider is fine, but think about the whole idea. Most people basically choose either 10% or 5% or 25%, right? So just like here, I can just click on this bullets and it just selects. Instead of this bullet point, I could have have an emoji here, right? Or instead of, I don't think we need to give like 10 levels. We can just give 5 levels initially. And let's say it could be like, it doesn't have to be equally distributed either. We can have like a 0, 0, 10, 20, 25, 50, and let's say 7500. So we just choose one from here, 7500, and use like different emoji for each of them. And that's much more visual, right? And people like these emojis better than like numbers, right?
Yeah.
And if they want to be precise, then they can click on it, and then the slider comes, and then they can precisely do it. So that's one idea that I was exploring, that I wanted to show. It's still not final. I will put it.
That is a neat feature. I like how you've taken the incorporation of the two ideas. So you're adding the fun of the emojis. Everybody loves emojis. We could make our own emojis. Like I could probably design images to represent what we want. So we have all custom DTube emojis to go with it. One thing I love about emojis is they can be incorporated into Discord. They can be incorporated into everywhere. So those reaction emojis could actually become a branding mechanism to go across all the various different platforms if they're custom to DTube, right? So it's adding a step of marketing as well, per se, through the function of our upvote. That's the thing everybody's going to see, right? So when you go there, that's what you're going to see, what you're going to interact with. So if we give them a way to interact with that elsewhere, Discord, who knows, right? Maybe there's the potential of building out like purchasable packages for DTube down the line for funding, People love emojis.
Exactly. I mean, I think I think this would be really good. I mean, it's from a programming perspective, it's not like a huge difference, but I think it would, from a regular user's perspective, it would be much more fun, right?
Yeah.
Another. Well, I think we already have it. Okay, another thing I wanted to discuss that I think is very important that we don't have. Let me. So on DTube, it's just an idea that I was exploring. On DTube, you see, I think Take knows it better. You see hot videos. So if you want to see all hot videos, you go to the show all and you see all the hot videos. But in this slider, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if I go to the next 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, after 12, it starts repeating, right?
Mhm.
Maybe we can increase the number. Why after 12? Why don't we have like 50 or something? Why can't I see 50 hot videos? We don't have to repeat so fast. Maybe we did it because the carousel takes a lot of memory or something.
I
I'm
do
not sure.
think
Maybe
that's what it is.
But I think
If
this is not a good feature because everybody's coming at the front page, right? They would like to. I personally, I don't want to go to the show all. Do you guys not feel the same way, or is it only me? I wish that I could see more of them, right?
I by
don't want.
default go to the actual page, but that's because I'm trying to find more. So maybe I have already developed the habit of avoiding those carousels because of the fact that they don't show enough content. So I would agree.
Right.
I would agree. They should show more, but I also do think it was limited because of the time it takes to load all the images. But if we could design it so when you get to the end of 12, it loads the next 12, you know, that would make sense because then it's not a huge initial loading issue.
So actually, Hemi does not like this carousels. I think we can get rid of all these carousels and maybe can rethink of a much better way of visualizing things. Because ultimately, you see, the way our front page, it looks nice. Our front page as a whole looks nice, but I think we could show more stuff. What do you, I mean? I don't know. This is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Are you guys all happy with how the DTube feed right now is? Because if you, I don't know, do you guys use Facebook or Instagram or other like feeds right now, or also like I think there should be a lot of improvement in terms of what kind of feed we are getting. Okay, one idea that I was thinking. So right now in hot and trending, we are getting people who got like a really high upvotes, right? And trending, I think hot is much more recent upvotes, and trending is like over a period of maybe 7 to 9 days. But then we have a new videos where the new videos are coming. And maybe we should also have some other categories like community picks, for example, right? So what I'm saying is like hot videos, trending videos, they are by design which video got high votes. But now that what end up happening is that because people who already have high, what I mean, like you'll see like pretty much the same people's videos coming again and again, right? Because for example, she has been there for a long time and she has a lot of VP and she gets a lot of votes also from other people. So basically, same people comes to the feed again and again. One is either you're rich, like if I am a leader, I can, for example, I upvoted with two of my accounts. That's why I came. I came here. Either leaders highly voted themselves. That's why are there, or popular users. So what I mean is like the newer users are not really getting any exposures, right? Without except new videos, which is because how our economy has been modeled. But I don't think that is healthy for a platform video feed, because it is not allowing diversity.
We
Because
haven't
the only
built
media,
anything to incorporate for engagement yet, and I said this many times, and I agree with you. Like the focus on rewards from the core of everything, like rewards, everything is focused around rewards. That's what it is about, and thus our users are focused around rewards. Whereas if we give them a metric of engagement to focus on, so if you have like the most commented on category there, right, then
right.
that's a different metric to focus on.
Right. So I think those, at least I'm not sure when that will go into our main site, but at least we can experiment and see how those look like. Most commented, or it can be like community peak also, right? Community peak meaning like not necessarily most most amount of DTC or most upvotes. Why not most number of, for example, what I mean is like my video did not get much upvotes, right? So I'm talking about number of upvotes rather than number of VPs, number of total VPs. Okay. For example, she got how much? She got like, let's say she got 16, right? On the other hand, this one got only 3, right? But it's still, even though it's 3, the VP is probably more than what she got. So I'm talking about there should be a number of counts, only the upvote counts. Okay, sort of like a view count also. We should have feed based on view count. We should have feed based on like count. We should have feed. Right now the feed is only based on VP, amount of VP, which is very narrow. Okay. Another thing I was thinking is, I think we can also have that I came up. I don't know. You guys all use DTube, right? Sorry, all use Brave browser, right? You see how Brave browser has nicely. They have a news feed, sort of. Okay. So what I mean by news feed is that we can also probably provide some based on our videos and the users whoever is uploading, let's say all the leaders together. Let's say that can be based on leaders or long-term community members who curate stuff. It can be TibFox or you. You could basically take last 30 days of news or the ones, and basically create a news feed like this. What I'm saying, like, at least we should have a feed which is not algorithm based rather than human picked. You understand what I'm talking about? Because right now all these feeds that we just talked about, including the vote count, they are like metric based. So there should be a feed which is like human picked feed. Okay. So that would be also interesting, because ultimately I have been really thinking about it. Like I don't use TikTok. I mainly use Instagram and I also don't use Facebook that much. Most of the social media I go, ultimately, why do I use those social media? I use those social media because of the feed, right? Because if the feed is not giving me what I really like to see, I typically leave that platform as fast as possible. So I'm just trying to think about a regular person who will come to DTube, and that's why I created this one. The explore video is also another reason. Is like, if you're interested in talks, then just go into the tag talks. Right now we don't have much, but you could just quickly jump into one of these categories. For example, if you're interested in travel, you just go jump, and that way you don't have to like I'm talking about a regular new user. He does not know enough, right? So for them, we need to create the feeds in a very intuitive way so that they can find their own interest very quickly. And And maybe I don't know, like all this. So we basically explored few ideas. One is like, okay, view count, view. Okay, one thing I said like the view count. So meaning like implementing view count. I think I already told TechCoder there's a way of implementing view count. I will work on it later. So basically, engagement should depend on the number of views you are getting, number of upvotes you are getting, of course number of VPs you are getting, and the number of comments you are getting, and also let's say whether the community has picked your video. So if we can ultimately establish each of these 4 or 5 metrics, then actually the equation that we have for our economy, we can actually add these numbers into our equations to make our ranking, the economic, that would be a much further change. If we could at least the first goal should be to come up with this metrics per video, per content, and maybe in future we can think about how our economic model can also depend on that to even like share the rewards in a much more content quality based economic model rather than just VP based economic model.
Yeah, I do agree that we've been missing that metric.
It's fine because that's easier, right? Because we had a single metric because that's easier. But now that we know that, think about, I was also thinking about, let's go to CoinGecko, right? So if we go to CoinGecko, let me close some of my tabs. So think about, let's pick a random let's think about this one. So actually in CoinGecko, in my if I go to categories, now they have categorized this coin. So let's say this NFT or derivatives. So each of these coins, let's say if I go to the engine, you see 50,000 people like this. You see? So not only they are involved with this coin, they came to CoinGecko and then they liked that coin. On the other hand, if you go to even Unis, on the other hand, if we go to our DTube, we see only 154 people like this. Okay, so I was thinking like most of these coins, like which don't even have a UI, but it's still there's so many people are engaged, the community is so big. And why is this happening? For example, Rally, this one has 2,400. So DTube has, we existed at least 3 years now. I think definitely we need to market more, but I'm just posing this question. What do you guys think? Like, why are we not being able to engage more people? We have a UI. Most coins don't even have UI. So is it because these people are only interested in the value, basically the coins which are going to take off, or which is giving a lot of profit? That's why people are flocking into there. What I'm trying to say that we have an advantage. We have an advantage, right?
My position largely is that most of the interest in crypto is more so about the money right now. It's hard to really put a figure on how many people are involved in the projects. We definitely have something to improve upon when it comes to giving holders a reason to hold. You know, we're kind of lacking that incentive. You don't have any dividends or anything, right? Your VP sits in your account. If you're not planning on being active on the platform, then you're not really in a place of having an incentive to be enticed to hold, to hopefully get that speculative moon that everybody is going on. The number one problem has been the silence of the social accounts. each one of these projects, the ones that go forward, they have as many people working on marketing as they do development. Like my ability to get interest on things at what I do within OneLove is pretty limited, but I can at least get people to look at things that they wouldn't otherwise be looking at, right? And that's kind of where it goes. If we don't have like 100 people like me doing marketing for DTube, then we can't use the community marketing technique, right? Because there needs to be a mass overwhelm of outside team input. Noise
like even Hive, I see so many literally Hive preachers. Like there's so many people just literally going to Twitter and talking about Hive. Like Hive is gonna go up. Like we need to unless we have such dedicated people, it's kind of hard to reach to people who are just new to the platform, right? But all I'm saying that we have a lot of advantage. We have an UI. Anytime, let's say I talk about DTube, I don't have to say that it's a random coin. I can just give them the website and they can just go and see what it is. It's just easy to understand. Most coins, like think about all these DeFi coins, people don't even understand. They just think, okay, the price is gonna go up. Maybe lots of investment happened, or the dev team is good, but you can really understand it. In our case, we have an understandable thing, and all we need is to preach more, and more people need to get involved.
It's not preaching. We have to throw money at the problem. I'll be the one person that'll put my foot in my mouth. Hive is moving upwards because everybody on Hive that is involved with it is throwing money at the problem. They build technology, they throw money at new users to get involved. DTube is not throwing enough money at new users for them to be interested. As simply as I could put it.
Now the thing is, like, how can we change it? Apparently, like, other leaders, I mean, they even like most other coins, they have very established medium page. It's fine that we are not doing well right now. The question is this how it's gonna go? That's my question. Is what it was or how it used to be, I don't care about it. The question is, if we don't change it, we need to change it, meaning like there need to be dev post. I mean, I am also not good at marketing. I am also not interested in marketing. I think that's the case, that we have very good team, but I guess nobody is doing the marketing except you. Like you are probably the only person who is literally trying to reach out to other people. And Bird Inc. is probably. But anyway, that's good. Like if we continue doing it more and more, my goal is right now is to handle the criticisms, and also I can see the problem with the economic model, and also from a first principle, think about why people use YouTube or why people use TikTok. I'm just asking those questions. People go there because they find contents that they like, that make them laugh, that make them that either entertain them or inform them. These are the two reasons people go to social media: entertainment, news, or information. So I understand that ours is a crypto platform. That means that more people are money oriented. That means probably it can be more focused towards information oriented. But at the same time, there's like there can be animation. There's a lot of vloggers also. Like there's some dedicated vloggers, right, who literally every day post on DTube, which means that they can have a followership. And vlogging, then I think there's like a small skating community. There's like at least 2 guys who regularly post the skating videos. So that means the small hubs are being created. It's just that from our dev perspective or leader perspective, our goal should be that how can we expose these contents to new users so that more and more users come and see these contents. right? And apparently the only difference that the major difference in terms of content I can see that we could be identified differently from YouTube is like most YouTube contents have even though I think on YouTube there's a lot of dedicated vloggers, and if you search and follow them, you will probably have those feeds. But generally speaking, YouTube has become very polished, meaning like it does not really talk, it does not really focus on community based feed, uh, how it used to be, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In DT, because our community is small and most people are doing a small scale stuff, it can have a flavor of community. You know what I mean? It can have a flavor of individual contribution. It can have a flavor of lots of interesting other things. So all I'm saying, I'm also not sure about all this. All I'm saying is, I think how the feeds should be need to be thought more. I think because we were so much focused on the coin itself, we're so much focused on okay getting to make everything work, we have not put enough thought into the psychology of people, meaning like how can we really create feed which basically can interest people, you know?
Yeah.
Personalization is definitely difficult, but ultimately, also I think when we market, we do not emphasize this should be very very emphasized that we, if you go to Facebook, have you seen your Facebook feed or have you seen your Instagram feed? Every third feed is an ad. Every third feed or fourth feed or fifth feed is an ad, a sponsored ad. I think we should emphasize a lot that lot about that. We should even preach like they are just feeding us ads and we are creating a platform with no ads, right? All you see are community driven feeds. These things, when you market, these are the talking points that you need to market. Otherwise, why are we creating DTube, right? The main thing is that we want to create regular people. I'm talking about regular people. Regular people will understand because they know how annoying the ad is. And when we preach about it, we need to say that, you see, we don't have any ad. That's the main reason we created. So do you want to join an ad free community driven platform, or you want to be in a platform where there's so much ad and those ads are targeted, they're just following your behaviors and they're targeting you? These are the talking points that a marketer need to talk about that people are not
Yeah.
talking. So I brought this.
I definitely overlook that point. Now I think part of what we're facing is that so many of us have been here for so long that everything has become normalized. What we see in DTube is normalized for us today. There's a bit of a separation of two issues, you know, like we obviously have user retention issue and we have the onboarding issue, you know, kind of two separate things. User retention relative to incentives, difficulty of learning the platform. The onboarding is relevant to marketing, right? So to really tackle this, we kind of, like you said, we need to address also what they're doing when they get here, but also have a real heavy push on the features that we're providing. So like me, I'm going to try really mention no ads in everything I do, because that's something I don't think I have mentioned once in the last year.
You should, because that's the main thing. That's the main. It's also very important because think about an investor. He always thinks about to find something new. So if we market like this, it's easy to get investors. It's an immediately new thing. There's every platform run based on ad, and we are creating a video content platform with no ad. That's something new, and investor will be interested in it because investors also they also consume contents and they get annoyed by ads, and they will appreciate that, okay, we are trying to do something new, and that's where the value comes, right?
Yeah, that's definitely how my thing is marketing. So I like to believe I am a content creator, but at heart I am a salesperson. Somewhere in me there's a salesperson. Maybe it comes from being a dealer for too many years, but so I can always find an angle to sell someone something. The question is whether or not they're willing to listen. As soon as I move into crypto talk, people just get like dumbfounded. They glaze over, their eyes are like, oh my God, this is too much information. I just want to watch some videos, or I just want to look at awesome images. Or so, in a marketing standpoint, I tend to move towards the easy things I could focus on. Money. Hey, man, you don't have to wait to 1,000 subscribers to earn for your content on DTube. You could make an investment, earn some money. But I don't think that trying to explain that is actually beneficial. Like you're saying, like it's just creating that focus on the wrong aspect. You know, it's only making it about the money when we're developing something revolutionary which surpasses what the money is offering. So yeah, I'm gonna try focus on the tools when I'm doing promotion of DTube specifically.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one big talking point. So there's these two talking points should be directed in two directions. We are ad free network. It's something important in terms of innovation, and that should basically distinguish us with other platforms. We are community driven. That should be directed towards investors, traders, because we're doing something new. On the other hand, people who are, I'm talking about, these talking points should go towards people who are looking for new investments. um, on the other hand, uh, the idea of like you can earn based on your content quality, you can earn coins which can be of real, or that should be directed to the new users. So you understand, though these are the two main talking points: that earn what you deserve. Second is something revolutionary, something decentralized, something ad-free, a new type of platform. So these things, that the second thing, a regular user don't give a fuck about, because they only care, they don't know the technology, they don't know what decentralization mean. All they want is probably a earning mechanism because they like to create contents. But that part may be very important, and that is the reason why traders are not coming, because when the traders, maybe most traders don't even understand what DTube is, what we are trying to do, they don't understand. So like, when will you, the retention, like when a trader come, when will you get people to hold this for longer time? We need to tell them, okay, this is the main thing. We are making an ad-free decentralized platform which is fundamentally different than YouTube. So yes, our development team is small, but we are doing it little by little. But you need to believe that we are doing really something very interesting which can revolutionize things. So you should keep these coins for long term. How do you convince someone to hold it for long term? By saying that we're doing something that can change the world,
Yeah.
right? Because most traders, they already probably have a lot of, like, decent amount of money. They're just trying to increase their money, right? So uh, there's many different kind of traders. Some are long term, some are short term. So nonetheless, even if, let's say, we already raised $100,000, right? If you think about in our ICO,
Yeah.
so if maybe we should throw another ICO or something, right?
Yeah.
So that we already, DTube account already has tokens, so we can take like a 5% of it. We can make another airdrop or something, But the whole purpose of raising that money should be to get new developers, or dedicate, or for example, tech coder is doing all these things, I am also doing all these things. All the people that work, we need to create an incentive model. Why will a dev person, why will I fucking invest 5 hours of my day to do something for D2? I need to have an incentive, right? Because it's difficult. So I mean, if we leaders don't create that incentive, if we don't think about it, things are not going to progress, I think. I mean, you and me, we agree on this, but the main leaders like Heyman, it would be very like he needs to, Heyman and other people, they need to think along that line. And it's kind of hard to, if we're not having conversation, it's hard to basically move forward, right? First we need to have conversation, then we can, okay, you can disagree with me, then we can find a way to move forward. I'm not saying that you agree with me everything, but if we're not even having conversation, how are you going to move forward? That's the problem we're having, and that's why probably everything is slow. And I'm not understanding why. I think if you read the paper, DTU paper, all these things I'm talking about, these are in the paper. Heyman had this vision. I don't know whether he got burnt out or something. I don't know. Like, is it he just shifted his focus into something else?
Yeah.
Maybe he stopped believing in what he used to believe, right? Maybe he just thought that, okay, I'm not directing it only towards him. Maybe like for example, high touch, he's like most of the UI, if I look, it's his code. So the thing that I showed, it took me like 3 hours to do it. For high touch, it would take maybe 10-15 minutes to do what I did in 3 hours. So I don't know, like, are they like giving up because they thought that, okay, they build something and it will just take off? I mean,
Understood.
things don't never work like that.
Understood. What do you actually propose that leaders do as kind of like an interaction? The
What we
the
are doing
user.
right now, what we're doing right now. All the other leaders, I'm not saying that join us. They should be doing it on their own. I don't know who is working on what. All these
Yeah.
people, like, I know how good of a coder Heyman is. What is Heyman doing right now? Everybody should know. What are you doing right now? Why, right? I mean, you cannot force anybody. Maybe he's, if he wants to take off another 3 months, that's fine. But do we know that when he will start, and when he starts, what he's gonna start? Like for example, I am telling you what I am doing. We know what TechCoder is doing. We know what Birding is doing. If all of, I'm not focusing on anyone. I'm just saying, if all of us, we know who are doing what. Even if we are slow, we are moving in a direction together, right?
Yeah.
But if we don't do that, then it's not going to happen. But to be frank, this is not the only thing I do. I own like 50 other coins, and I'm involved with all these other things. I probably put like 10% of my time here, and other 90% time I'm doing other things. I'm not saying that just because you are on this, you will have to be 100% put everything on this. But the idea of transparency is all I'm talking about.
Then why not make it a way to like have other currencies also implied into the platform without like having anything to do with the blockchain?
What was the question again?
I was actually giving an idea. Why not like have a way to interact with the site, but with alternative coins or like other coins?
That is I think that's what we did before, right? The Steam and Hive. You also want to create your own identity in a way. Otherwise, why will creating your own identity is very important. The fact that we have our own chain, even though we are not doing well, that also leads that at one point, if all the idea that I am throwing out there, for example, what did we talk about today? That let's improve our feed. What's the goal? Improving our feed basically has the goal that so that we can get new users. If we can do that, okay, let's improve our economy based on all these other engagement metric. That would probably lead towards people getting more reward for their own contents. in a much fairer way. Right now, it's more skewed towards people who have high VP, more towards maybe the content curators. I think tipping is just a first step towards it. That now, let's say, at least I know that I have a high VP, right?
Mhm.
So when I actually like to go to watch new videos that I like, and I vote with high VP, but it's not really helping them. I think I did like sometimes I do high VP and then also send them coins. Let's say after giving high VP, got like 10 coins or something. I send them 5 coins because I literally voted them because of their content quality. But the model is not rewarding him as much as it should. Now that we have the tipping, now I can put like 75% tipping. That way, most of the coin generated through the curation goes to the content curator. So I think all these things that we are doing little by little, this was good. What we did, me and TechCoder, tipping was literally not, like it was like almost halting, right? Everybody was talking for like months. We did it in 1 month. This conversation in 1 month, we have achieved a very significant goal. All I'm talking about, all these things that we're talking every week, if we continue doing, adding things, convincing other people, eventually maybe in 3-4 years or 2 years, next bull run, we can reach to $1 to $3. It's possible, definitely. And
I'm sorry.
so what I mean is, coming back to your question, so bringing more coins will just dilute that identity that I'm talking about.
I
So
understand. So I was thinking as an idea, by if you like subscribe to a channel, right?
right.
How about you add some interaction into it, like the ability to subscribe to the channel
Mhm.
by automatically giving that user something. So like you can only subscribe to a channel by giving the user some DTC or maybe whatever.
Yeah, so all these giveaway, I think these are good ideas. The problem with giveaways is always the bots. For example, uh, you will be doing it with a very good intention, right? But the moment you create that, what will happen is that the thousands of people who know how to create bots, or people who are just dishonest, they will just create many accounts just to get those free things. So free things always has this problem, but I'm still for it. I do think we should, at the beginning of this stage, I think now that we don't even have 200 users interacting every day, we should be rewarding people as much as possible. We should be saying, like, if you subscribe, there should be some incentive. If you can bring more people, there should be some incentive. I mean, we need to create all these incentive mechanisms, but the thing is, it's like I am for that. Yes, I think what you just said is a really good idea. I think I am for, first of all, linking with the main idea that every time a new user joins, we should have a verification system. If he is verified, then he should earn a good sum of initial coins so that he can start being a good content creator. Second thing that you just suggested, okay, maybe we should encourage people to subscribe each other. So and we should have probably an incentive. It doesn't have to be one coin. We can make a 0.01 DTC
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So at least if there's some incentive, maybe people would do it. And yeah, I am all for that.
But the
And
problems are bots.
yeah, but the problem is always the bots. Uh, but at the same time, the fact that we have a mechanism of hard forking, just because even if we do it today, doesn't mean that we cannot stop it after 2 years, right? Like if there's a bot problem, then we can stop it. So we can definitely make things conditional. But these things, what I would suggest anime, maybe Think about it more, maybe add it as an enhancement, definitely. Okay, another important thing I wanted to bring, Duke, this thing that I want to work on. So basically, uploading process, another big hurdle for people is, so I go here, I go to the upload page, and then you see when I press the publish video here, it takes, well, if it's YouTube video, it's instant, but the uploading video, let's put it in the trash. So let's say if I do file upload, so when I do uploader one love d.tube and then I put the video here, so if I press so when I upload here, I'm stuck in this page, right? So I want to make it a background process. You understand what I'm talking about? You don't have to. The uploading can be happening in the background. For example, in your case, you have a 4-hour long video, right? And it takes like 4 hours to upload here. What are you gonna do with 4 hours? You're gonna keep open this tab the 4 hours. So instead, if we can make this a background process, you can basically, in the meantime, you can probably jump and see other stuff, and when the uploading is done, you can get a notification, sort of like how YouTube does it also, and I think other platform also does it. Maybe it's not a high priority. It's probably not a high priority, but definitely our uploading mechanism, even the design. Right now, let's say I try to upload a video here. So try to have an upload video here. The movies, let's say short clips. So if I try to upload this video here, what happens? Maybe some weird stuff here. So you see this page comes right now, right? Uploading video. I think initially, at least, why do we not show some videos, even if we don't make make like a background process? I think this page we should have new videos at the bottom. All the new videos that we have here, it should come at the bottom. You can just scroll and watch the new videos, and if you click on anything, it will just open in a different tab. That's very easy to do, right? You understand what I'm talking about? It's the easiest thing we can do, even if we don't make it a background process. That way, while the thing is being uploaded, at least you are being exposed to all the new videos, and maybe you will watch some in your different tab. It definitely needs to be a different tab, unless we make it a background process. But in future, maybe we can make it a background process. Isn't it a good idea, you think?
My thoughts on that have always been, now I think the reason why there's two pages, you go to your first page, it spits out the hashes. That's your upload page, right? You give your image, goes to the next one, and that's where it generates all its IPFS. You confirm you got your IPFS, and then you manually move on to writing your post. I do think that we should have the uploading and the post writing merged. So while you're getting your hashes, you can write your post.
Right.
That would definitely help.
Yes. So all three things. Basically, we want to minimize your time to do all these things. That's the core idea, right? Because right now it's just the whole process. You need to wait 30 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on your internet quality, right? You may be waiting for 2 hours just to upload. Then after 2 hours, you already had the idea what you're going to write. You're going to forget, or you're going to feel annoyed. to wait for 2 hours. So it's definitely like while you upload or before you upload, those two things, the information that you need to write down, that's what YouTube does basically. All other platform does that. You basically should be doing all the other things while it gets uploaded. You don't need to wait for things getting uploaded there.
Yeah.
And what I added on top, if you have finished all of that, there should be a mechanism for you to, or at least encouraging, we should encourage you to, in the meantime, what are you going to do? Rather, you just do some curation for us, right? So that's what I'm like, because the whole point of making an intuitive interface is to engage people in a meaningful way. That's what I'm talking about. So what we discussed today is basically we need to think about this uploading process a little bit more intuitive in a faster mechanism, so that it's easier for users. And maybe we can remove some redundant information, like it's being converted from this to this. What are people going to do? Most people don't even understand those things, right?
Yeah,
And people who understand it, they don't need to see that.
It's a weird way they have it designed. I've always thought most of us have no idea what quality is. We create videos, we make a video, our software has an option of good quality, medium quality, or poor quality. And that's like, as a creator, that's what I was exposed to. I found out afterwards, good is 1080, medium is 720, and low is 480. Right? So right off the bat, when I'm uploading to DTube, I'm going, okay, I want good quality, and then DTube is having to down render it into what it accepts. And that is a stress load on DTube itself. So I do agree that the information, right, the information about what the hashes are happening, like people don't really need to see that information. They just need a progress bar of the entire process. You're uploading, okay, video's done uploading, we're processing it, okay, it's done processing, you're able to upload now. That's all the user needs to see.
I mean, there's no criticism with what we had. What we had is we needed to create a viable first phase app that lead toward the creation of our coin and expose our website to other people. Now we have achieved that stage. Now we should be focusing on how we can make it more friendly for users, because those things we did not have time to think about those things. Now is the time that now that we know that how human mind works, how we need to retain users. Now we need to focus on, okay, bring emojis, make those things that people don't like, remove them. All these improvements, now is the time to do it, and experiment with it and see, like, okay, what ultimately brings more people, what ultimately retains more. Unless we experiment, we are never going to learn it. Think about how many times YouTube or other places they change their UIs. Like literally every day they are doing some experiment to see like whether it works or not. And we need to at least move forward with that, and then little by little, and eventually maybe we'll figure out a better way. And then
just to
another
highlight what
thing
Tech is saying here about that, the One Love IPFS uploader says processing video ... but we have people who want details and progress of those operations. So people, I think, want to see a single bar. They're like, okay, there's one process I'm doing, I'm uploading a video, but there's all the little broken down processes in between. They almost want like one bar that gives them all the information as it's going through. So like, okay, uploading is 30%, the creation of hashes is the other 70%, but the bar actually shows you, okay, we're uploading, okay, now we're generating hash 240, now we're on 480, now we're on 720, now we're on 1080, okay, now your video is submitting to the blockchain, post done, right? But it's a weird...
I think it's okay to have those if some people want it. But what you said is very important. I think that other info, while you are watching that, many of us want to write down the video details, all the other
Yeah.
information in the next page need to be brought down. That's the first thing. Or make it first, then upload. And also maybe make the entire uploading process as a background process which can be reopened. You know what I mean? Meaning like
Yeah.
like it's a background process, but you can click on a page or a link that brings you back to that page. My problem is not showing that page. My problem is being stuck in the on that page. You understand what I'm saying?
Like
Like I want to
drafts.
go to other. Exactly. So
That's,
it should be sort of like a draft page.
I think
So it's
if
fine
we
to
could
show that page,
incorporate
but
that, it would help.
of
The
course,
like,
anything is possible. It's just who is going to work on it, you know,
yeah, that's just it,
and
is
what
key.
priority level that is. I think this is a good priority. I think this consumes a lot of people's time. Basically, somebody who has, let's say, I took a video and I already have in my mind fresh what I want to write about that video. Now I'll have to wait for 2 hours. That's boring. Most people want to write the information right away. So this is a high priority. I think uploading is definitely a high priority.
Yeah, it is.
And so maybe we should add that somewhere. And so so this genre categorization thing, so you like it, right? For sure.
Hmm.
So I guess tech coder also is fine.
I
So
do.
eventually, ultimately, any if we want to merge it, even I probably need some cleanup to do there. So Duke, maybe go and at least upvote it. Maybe take can upvote later on, or take probably will comment on something if something needs to be changed.
On the Git, you
So
mean?
yeah. I sent the pull request, right?
Yeah.
Tex
I
is talking about the thumbnail server.
Yeah, the
Bring a
thumbnail
page.
server. What's wrong with thumbnail server right now? Like, is it like dead or something?
Oh, he
Yeah.
mentioned that, I think in DIP. Something to do with one aspect of the server he doesn't quite have access to restart it, if I'm not mistaken. The server is completely down right now. Waiting on Heim. The usual story for the time being. Which brings me to a great point that I want to mention, that we're hoping to build this system with a proper proposal mechanism, DHF, being able to make consensus decisions of the DTube project together as leaders. I really don't want to put my foot. Yeah, Time hates the idea so far. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I am hoping that we can move towards it, and he will see the value. Since to get the people involved, we need to have them feel as if they have control of what they're being involved in. If I can't influence the platform I'm wanting to build, if I can't have something that I can control, everybody wants control. I control one love, but the community controls me, so I'm at the will of the community. So that question of control and DHF system is very intertied to the interests that people are going to have on our platform. If they can't see from the ground up that we're building something that supports the community and builds forward and has value for the future, then we're going to lose the interest of the community.
I do like new people joining, right? So now that we have the reward tipping system, if at least leaders, you and me, I know for sure we are going to tip. I'm definitely going to tip at least more than 50%. So if all leaders we do so, I think most people, new users at least, people who already have a lot of DTC, I'm not going to give them tips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at least new users, if I can give most of my curation vote to them, I think the word will spread out. And I think people who want to earn based on their content, I think it may probably help. But you see, this entire thing that I explained, these things also need to be marketed. Like people need to talk about, right? People need to share about these things. Like, I mean, it needs to be a little bit of viral factor. Like everybody
Yeah.
needs to share with each other. But I think that is good thing. So let's make it a thing. Like maybe one of your one love community, we can do you and me. We together can create like a curation program. Like at least once or twice we sit together and we go to the new users, and we basically just vote them and give them a lot of DTC
Yeah.
through the tipping mechanism. And
We
basically even comment and ask them to, and even share their videos on, let's say, Twitter or other places, and ask them to spread more words. Basically we kind of like encourage and bring the new users together. And at least if two leaders, you and me, and some other leaders get convinced to do so, I think we can start some fire.
Yeah. So one idea I had about, the social promotion and how this vote tip could be used, particular for new users. We have Ionomy sponsorship, which gives us a bit of a social metric to play upon. They don't have the biggest social following, but it is a sponsorship. They'll support us running things in their name. So there is that to start with. But using that vote tip and being like, hey, Ionomy's got 1 million VP they're giving away this week to one lucky new user who posts their content and verifies themselves with the original DTuber. We're building that giveaway into the further advancement of another project ongoing, which is whitelisting, which hopefully that whitelisted user list is going to be what is used in any sort of proposal mechanism as already approved users. So I think the vote tip is going to be revolutionary in this, particular for the new user. So yeah, I would love to, like, maybe even once a week, we just get together and we try discover some new users that might be interested, give them some tips, and see if we can get them interested in bringing people in to participate with whatever it is we're going to decide to do, right? Could be the original DTuber. Maybe it's go subscribe to the DTube channel and prove that you have, right? We could do whatever action we want for people to earn the reward, but that is ultimately, I believe, how every single platform brings the people in. Is it's, we're not giving away money at that point, we're giving away VP, but giving away something usually is what brings the people in.
Okay, so I guess we discussed some good ideas today.
Yeah.
So I am going to leave and probably do some work, and you can continue.
And go to
And
work already.
yeah, some of the ideas that I'm talking about, I'll probably try to implement. Another thing that I probably told, that sort of like a polling mechanism, and um, I would probably, yeah, that's all the things that we are talking about. I am keeping the list. Whatever I can work on, I'm working. Take definitely is working on many things. And at least the first thing, if you guys like the curation thing, if you have any criticism, so at least after let's do it after. Let's get the tipping first, get introduced. Maybe next month we can get together, or if take once, we can even do it together. It's up to take. So we'll see. All right.
Well, it's been great having you, Brish. I appreciate what you're doing for DTube, man. And yeah, shout out to everybody. Go vote as a leader. We appreciate the future Brish is building for us. Support him as a leader. That's how you could show him you actually enjoy what he's doing. Flood of leader votes. It makes my day every time.
Okay.
Bridge.
Well, that is basically it for our roundup today. I think Brish covered most of the important topics. Let's see, where did that one link from TechCoder go? Browser. So, author tip field he showed on API-based image proxy. Let's bring up the right one here.
It's not the TechCoder's website.
No, I was
it's
on
the club one.
Yeah, I was on the club one. This is the right one. There. The other one is the featuring of categories, which, reminder, all the leaders go out there, vote on Brishtit's PR so we can merge it to get categories involved. TechCoder has a merge as well. I believe the two of them should put their two projects together and merge them, but I think lack of time to communicate together, they built out their features separately. But what Brishtit came up with was that vote tip, and then I think TechCoder implemented it in his copy here. So that first one was the vote tip, the next was the images, so I'll just go to my channel. You can see images working again on the proper image proxy, now hosted by several different nodes, caching, so they're not going to be disappearing. Increase the slider size. Let's find a new video then. Oh, Cyber Damon is a wonderful channel. We made the slider itself bigger. Easier to handle from mobile. Got the tag and tip option. 5% is the starting tip. So if you go to tag something, we did hint at wanting to increase this up to 25% as the default. So when you hit that button, it'll automatically have 25 in there as the default, and from there you set it otherwise. That will be, I believe, a future little change. Oh yeah. Replace thumbs icon with bolt symbol for VP overlay. That means
you can minus tip. What's minus tip?
Oh God. I'm gonna try
Can I like steal? Can I? You're gonna steal people's YouTube now.
That's an interesting. Okay, here we go. Here's some trial and error live from the One Love community. This is how we discover whether or not there's complications and forms of potential abuse. Okay, Anime, I'm gonna flag you.
What? No.
Well, who can I flag? Because I want to make sure that I don't flag them stealing curator rewards and send it through to you. I could do it. I gotta find okay, just one of your posts. Let me flag one of your posts just to see how this works. A flag with a tip. Tip flag. I'll go to one of your older ones I haven't touched yet. Here we got 4 months ago. I'm pretty sure I have not voted this one yet. Okay. This is testing a flag tip. I'm going to make it real small. Just because I want to see the results, not actually like have an effect. 2.1% the smallest. And I'll even tag it tip or test.
But as down as well as the upvote as the downvote, you can negatively, which is pretty what the fuck. So you can do it on both.
It accepted the flag. Okay, so we have two screens to be able to look at the difference. I still claim 0.01. Too small of a flag, I think, to see any difference. Didn't seem to be enough to be able to affect it. Might have to try a bigger flag.
Go do that shit on testnet, please.
I guess I could. Let's see if his testnet is still running. Yeah, it looks like it's running. For another day, I'll wait until I know for sure that that's on the testnet. I don't want to do any big flags on the wrong. A little thing to mention to everybody, we had Intrepid Surfer making fuss in the Discord general, and guess who got flagged because of it? Hello, the biggest. We once again have paid you some attention and would love if you could get the authors that you're posting on your channel to verify themselves as actually giving you permission to post the content. Otherwise, this is likely going to continue. It could be very easy with a link in the description of a video, for that matter, on YouTube. You know, hey, I am shitty posting all my content along with the rest of my community to one account in a very spammy fashion, but I verify that I give him permission to do so. It'd be great.
You can say the same to RT International.
Yeah, well, RT, I don't think we're going to get a response from. That is a long-standing battle.
And also from the Rob Gimson channel, because yeah, he still didn't confirm. And some other like accounts going.
It forked unintentionally again, so the testnet isn't up right now, I guess. We got tech chatting in. Yeah, there's a long story in our abuse channel. If you want the details, you can get it all there. Tech saying my vote was too small to demonstrate. But at least we know people can vote or flag tip. I'm going to have to figure out what a flag tip does. So that I can explain it to people and then ensure that we can't have like a system of intervening any abuse by flagging your own content. Could you imagine, like, you create a system to try fight abuse and you end up making one that it becomes the opposite, where then the abuser is flagging their own content for rewards and you're upvoting it to take it away? that could potentially happen, and I'm curious about that. I want to run it out. That'll be an interesting experiment for me, seeing the reverse situation.
Yeah.
So did you have anything you wanted to talk about today before we call it here? Lots has been discussed. I didn't keep a running note this time, so I'll have to review the stream and write some notes. Brish. Glad we had Brish with us today. The only thing I really wanted to talk about, bring to attention, is that we have Steaminator willing to revise the referral program. He doesn't have a working model for it yet. I'm not sure if he's 100% working on it yet, but the idea of a referral system is possible. He liked the idea of incentivizing users to bring people on. He also said he loved the new move towards full decentralization that we're really trying to put at the beginning of everything that we're doing. You know, like everything should be decentralized. But that doesn't mean the user cares, right? The person on the front end cares about how they interact with the page. The people that hold the coin and are investors care about the technology and what it means. And then the developers oftentimes care mostly about the fundamental workings of said technology. So, like Brish was saying, when we're doing our marketing, we almost need to tackle it on several different levels rather than just throwing a dollar sign around and saying, hey, you make money on DTube instead of YouTube. Bringing forward the features that brought us here in the first place, right? Like DTube came about because of ads and a problem with ads and censorship of content because of it. That's the fundamental problem, is YouTube has ads. The people that run ads have control of the content on DTube or on YouTube because of their mass amounts of money. They can complain, they pull their money, and new rules come forward on YouTube, which results in censorship. So DTube, that doesn't happen. But we still need to evolve the economy really to support the discovery of content, as well as the UI to move away from supporting only those with stake over people that are new to the platform. Ultimately, the new users should be the focus. And I should never make it to fucking trending. Seriously.
Actually, yes, you should. No, you should. We are talking about some excellent subjects, and everybody should hear about. So,
I might be one of the only people to actually state it that way. That like, hey, I do not have good enough content to be getting the rewards that I am, but because of the economy and the way it's built, I'm able to do this, right? So I realize that when these new users, the real users, come to the platform, I'm going to fall to the back burner. Like, I'm not going to make trending anymore unless I happen to vote myself there. But if we remove that ability, then the only way I'm going to make trending is if it is actually the users on the platform that love my content for the content and nothing else. And that's actually, like, as a content creator, that's what I want to know. You know, like, why do I appreciate DTube votes on my content? Because I know that there is a team of curators there and someone looked at it. Like, why do our community members appreciate our curation? Well, it's not always the dollar value that comes behind it, because we don't have a lot of money to play with. It's knowing somebody looked at it. So if every new user that came to DTube knew that somebody watched their content, I guarantee you they'd be sticking around to figure out more of how to utilize the platform, make the most of it, and then continue expanding the people that are viewing their content, because that's what they're looking for. You know, like, crypto people want money. Content creators want fucking engagement. That's all we care about. The money, like, I create content because I love it. I want someone to tell me that they love it or they hate it so I can improve. The money is always an afterthought for anybody that's really in it for creation. You're in it for your passion.
Absolutely agree on that one.
That's why I try sidetrack the discussion when people bring it to, well, I'm not involved on DTube because of the money. It's like, okay, well, you're not really involved in creation for the right reasons, if you ask me. And I started there. Like, I got involved in creation to be able to line my pocket. That's how I started. You know, I found crypto because I needed a distraction. I got into mining with random rigs. I found that interesting. I built up servers, blah, 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 blah. All of that has evolved into a streaming rig, right? So that passion of computers then poured into one aspect I could focus on. And then when I discovered the content creation along with the computers, it all kind of lined up. I found my creativity that I never knew. And it's the not knowing that you're creative, which is the absolutely destroying part of society right now. Every person out there is a creative. You just have to find what you're passionate about. And then from there, you could find fulfillment within the daily mundane existence of life through the minor accomplishments that you have building towards whatever passion interests you have, right? So it's an interesting problem when you get money and creation involved together, right? So you get on YouTube, the best example is you get the, goddamn, what are their names now? The two brothers that basically went into the Paul brothers, into a stage of outdoing each other. Who's more crazier? Who can do the craziest thing? Who has the most bizarre frickin' thing, they'll say, you know, that kind of idea. And it pushes us to doing the most bizarre things to then, to find money, right? But if you actually go back to the beginning of the Paul brothers and watch their channel evolution, how it all started, they didn't start with chasing money. They always did crazy things, and they found doing the crazy things is how they got the views. But as soon as they were introduced to money, their creation changed. They stopped creating the things that didn't chase money, right? They cut off the getting out of bed and walking to go talk to their, father in the kitchen while he's doing his usual morning crazy bullshit. They cut off all that vlogging, lifestyle, real human stuff, which was the original thing that brought them into creation in the first place. And they cut it off completely and moved strictly into clickbait, trending, set up shots, stunts, pranks, that kind of jazz. So
absolutely disrespectful content.
Yeah. But the thing that even when I watch it, like when I see this, I see their new content, I still think of their beginning, right? Like I followed them right from early days. I mean, they're younger than I am. So I seen these guys pop up on YouTube, be like, fuck, I could do that. I never did. Here I am on YouTube. I could have done that. Fuck.
Yeah.
The point is, I see their newer stuff, and I still make the relation to the older stuff of where they started, because that is what people want to see more so than the clickbait. And usually it's like the relationship of the channel that continues them forward, even when they move from being that content that everybody wants to consume because it touches their soul into the content that everyone just is entertained by, they remain being talking points because of how they came from creation. You know, if creation is your fundamental drive behind what you're doing, then even if you're chasing the money, your content is going to remain good. You're going to be proud of it. And the question of if you got paid for that content, you basically go like this: fuck you. I made some good content. Fuck your money. That's the one love message for today, guys. When content creators don't get paid, you should just raise your middle finger and be like, well, fuck you. I'm going to do better next time then. Bit of a sassy
the
attitude.
truthfulness is through the roof. Yeah.
The argument of rewards has been fundamental from Steam and DTube and Hive since day one, and the battle of censorship with rewards. I don't relate rewards to censorship per se. It does have an effect, but my belief is censorship is relevant to finding the content. So, yeah, like, as a creator, like, I've never really been one to chase rewards. The rewards seem to chase me. Giant shout out. Okay, here's an account that I haven't seen or heard tales from in months. I've been focused on things they probably don't care about, right? One of my giant whales that votes my content pretty regularly, Rocky1. I love you. I have no idea who you are. Your massive votes make my day. They've been making my day for years, you know, and prior to that, it was K Pine, massive votes. You know, they come in, they are very specific about the content they vote on. So through their habits of voting, I've actually learned to refine my content creation, right? So they have not required, because of my interest in creation, my self-focus on making something better, I then can make the relationship between what videos they're voting and what videos they're not voting. And then from there, either chase the rewards or refine my content to fit their desires. So my personal takeaway is Rocky1 loves lifestyle content. He loves updates on vlogs, health, people that are trying to support others, people that talk about empowerment, you know, traveling videos, tends not to vote on anything where I discuss investment. So is that relevant to the topic, or is that relevant to my opinion on the topic? Right? So right there, maybe I'm put in a place of understanding that my opinion on investment isn't actually appreciated, right? Or maybe that he, as a curator, is not appreciative of that type of content for its influence on, you know, the platform. People talking about do this, do that, blind people follow. Who knows?
I think, yeah, but I think that's the second one makes more like sense.
Yeah, right.
Say,
but
like, listen, as a curator, I don't like this kind of content, so if you're gonna post about it, I'm not gonna follow.
But as a creator, you're going to think it has to do with what you have said, right? Or the topic of the content.
Yeah. As an autocritic, so if you're going to autocritique yourself, you're always going to say, hey, maybe it was what I said.
Yeah. So
because you never know.
Taking that step back to be able to then say, like, okay, well, maybe it's not actually the content that I created, but the content type, right? So I have...
Or the content you promote.
Yeah. Who knows? But the hard part is not focusing on the lack thereof of reward or the lack of votes, but focusing on the what gets votes and moving towards that consistently. What gets the engagement? You want comments? You go review things that get lots of engagement and try to discover why. You know, particularly your own content, because you can expand on your own content. It's hard to expand and mimic other content at the same time. So like, get out there and you want engagement, you find the things that, you know, the posts that get the most engagement. It might be the topic, it might be the way you laid it out, it might be a thumbnail, it could literally just be timing. You know, it could come down to timing of your post.
For me, it's like anime. Like I actively search on YouTube for an anime content, but yeah, as you know, it's mostly people like copy pasting stuff that they shouldn't. So yeah, I try to avoid that. But yeah, if I try to and I find some like good AMVs and stuff, I always try to find out if that's the author, and I give it a vote. Why not?
Yeah, the self-focusing part of it is like just moving towards what is getting support rather than focusing on what isn't. You know, that's been my metric. If I focused on the fact that I lost K-Pine support during a time of drama on the platform, I would have stopped posting and One Love wouldn't exist today. You know, that was like 90% of my income at the time. And this is the battle that we face as creators of on these platforms. You know, are you willing to accept the loss of income if your content doesn't strike the right message? And well, obviously I am. Therein it lies free speech. Complexities of when free speech is monetized. Alrighty, guys.
Auto-censor. Yep.
Yeah, auto-censor. I think we all do naturally to some extent.
Yeah. Part of the how we function, how we communicate with others. Especially
it is.
people that we know. But the thing is, when we come to anonymity, it changes a little. Because when you're anonymous and you communicate with someone, you tend to like not put those barriers and just say what you really think and what you want to say. And vote the way you really want to vote.
That is an interesting part of it. Turn up some tunes while we're babbling here. So anybody that happens to still be watching, that is basically it for today. The One Love Community Development Talk Weekly, Sunday. Supposed to be 4 a.m. I woke my ass up late today, so we started at about 6-ish. And Coder was able to join us in chat. Rich Tit on camera, giving some demonstrations. We're excited about this upcoming fork. I'm finally producing blocks again. After a crash. We're good. But overall, we continue moving forward one step at a time. This week with the fork, we are coming up with Vote Tip. Hopefully in the near future, we can talk more about how we're expanding that to evolve the economy and support new users. Most importantly, hopefully we can highlight new content in some way that actually empowers the person utilizing that feature. Vote Tip. Stay tuned for probably a stream between me and Brish this upcoming week. Try to discover some new users. I'm going to follow up with Ionomy and ask them about how we may use their vote. Maybe weekly, given one new user, a massive vote tip. Get them started on DTube.
Cookie love.
Yeah.
Give them a massive Dookie love right in the beginning.
Well,
It's
yeah,
gonna help
I mean,
pump people up right in the good place. Starting making your own content and directly being able to invest in yourself back again.
potentially, we have the ability to reward them like up to 50 to 100 DTC in a single tip. Depending on what there is available in the rewards pool, as well as how many people are active, how many people vote before us. There's a lot that goes into it, how old the post is. If we get a post within the first couple minutes or whatever, being the first person in with a massive vote tip with the Ionomy account, it'll really boost the user. And they'll earn a healthy chunk.
Also, Duke, I forgot to maybe something also for the people. Are you still doing the TibFox faucet?
We do have it running. I'm not really keeping up with it, but yeah, if anybody does have DTube in TipCC, fund the faucet by sending all your DTube to TipCC. Take a screenshot of the bot's reaction and send it to
Tell
me
them
in
to
DM.
do this on bot spam. Alright, to tell people to do it in bot spam so that there is proof on the server itself.
But just snap a screenshot of the message and send it to me in DM. That's the proof. And then I'll reimburse you on DTube for the amount that you funded the faucet. Basically, I put some DTube into the faucet a while ago, and some other people have as well, and now we're just cycling it around, keeping the economy liquid by allowing you to cash out through me to DTube, and I reimburse you. Basically, all you're doing is funding the faucet, getting DTube off the faucet, refunding the faucet. I just keep sending you whatever DTube. For the time being anyways, until transactions come back down on Ethereum and we can actually get DTube out without spending like $50.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Yeah.
Like what I did right
for the
now.
stream though. Tech Coder saying only when ETH2 fully releases will transactions come back down. Yeah. I can agree.
Yeah, Duke,
unless
can I
we happen to
also,
go into a bear market. Yeah, go ahead.
If I send you a link to the message directly instead of like a image, is that okay? So let's say if I send you like what's your account? Dookie.
And make sure it's dookie.com. This account.
Dookie. Oh, okay, the other one.
Right? This account. This is
Yeah.
my work account. Dookie, it'll get lost in the messages. I still haven't replied to your last one, I don't think.
Yep.
Only thing is if it's a message, it could get deleted.
They're both done in from the heart, so it should be on top.
Yeah.
And this one was done in bot spam. But if I
send
you
send a
this kind of link,
screenshot, if you send a screenshot, then I don't have to go looking around for it. I could just look at the number and send it to you.
Alright, so screenshot. Okay. Also for the other people that they know how to do it.
Just to make it easier for me, guys. I already got a lot of shit to do. Yeah, I'm giving you a free means of transacting. You follow my damn rules.
That's true. That's true. I'm not gonna complain about those. I think nobody should. Just do what he says, be happy, and get some quote-unquote free DTC out of like your TT account.
Yeah, see, 2.02 D2. I'll make sure I look at that later today and send it to you. It's 53 cents. You earned yourself 53 cents in DTube just for smashing exclamation faucet DTube and then going and voting the TipCC bot.
Not only. Yeah, exactly. So for the tadas, I had some tadas, and I had some people like directly tipping in from the tipping servers. Because in my name, I have like T2 on the tipping server, so that people know that's my preferred coin. So I'm actually making some like publicity for DTube.
So DTube has made some rounds on the tipping servers, eh?
Yeah, I'm like, sometimes I say, hey people, are there like any tubers? And I hear one or two, hey, yeah, I make videos on DTube. I'm like, yay, I found someone else. So it's pretty funny.
It's so empowering in so many ways to like go and find other people in other places. Like what was it I recently looked into? Anyways, this networking company, they're building decentralized Wi-Fi, like 5G Wi-Fi network. Drawn a blank on the name of the project. Voltic introduced me to it. When I landed there and actually chatted into chat to say hi, I had Hacker Qualm message me, which I know from Can I Curate, and he's like, is that Dookie? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He's like, oh my god, it's here, Hacker Qualm. It's like, you're involved in this? He's like, we should build something together. Like immediately, he's like, how can we work together? Like, so
wow, nice.
Because the two of us, we've never worked together, but we've criticized each other enough to know that there would be trust there if we did. You know, like he had some things happen, and I was like calling him out on his bullshit. And, you know, anytime I've ever been in their server doing my live show, he's there calling me out on my thing, and fucking, you know, it's a back and forth kind of like how we have, where it's like a mutual understanding. Just be your frickin' self.
Yeah. Those are actually we call those your best enemies.
Yeah.
Those are your best enemies. Frenemies, exactly. At least you can keep it real with those people. there's no place for like back dropping and don't telling things, because you already know he's gonna like give it to you up front, straight up.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to like having some feedback. Knowing, hey, yeah,
definitely.
I'm going to shit.
Alrighty, well, I think that's it for today's show. We're just kind of hanging out now, so we will call the stream there. Thank you everybody for joining us. I will be posting more clips a little bit from last week, more from this week. And I really try go forward on that this week again. I got one up last week, but I have to deal with this fork now. So, yeah. And I've already been standing longer than I should be for today. I need to go put my leg up. On that note, thank you, Anime, for joining me.
Thank you, Dookie, for having made another wonderful show where I have a lot of it.
Thank you very much, Tech Coder, for being our chat bot.
Yep.
Love you guys. Till next time. One love out.